2018. One decision almost erased one of the biggest music festivals on earth. After nearly 20 years, the city of Miami told Ultra Music Festival to leave. No more Bayfront Park, no more home. The dream was over. For almost any festival, that would have been the end. Because festivals don't survive when they lose the place that made them famous. But Ultra wasn't just another festival. It had become a tradition, a dream, a pilgrimage for hundreds of thousands of people from around the world. When the city tried to end Ultra, millions of fans asked the same question. How do you destroy something that has already become bigger than the city itself? To answer that, we have to go back to where it all began. March 13th, 1999, Miami Beach. No giant stages, no fireworks, no million-dollar production, no worldwide live stream, just a small electronic music festival created by two young promoters, Russell Fibish and Alex Omes. Around 10,000 people showed up. Nobody believed they were watching history. At the time, electronic music wasn't filling stadiums. It wasn't dominating the charts. Most people still believed dance music belonged inside dark clubs, not under the open sky, not on a massive festival stage. But Russell and Alex believed something different. Electronic music deserved its own home, its own identity, its own culture. They weren't trying to build another concert. They were trying to build a place people would never forget. By the end of that first weekend, something incredible happened. Nobody talked about ticket prices. Nobody talked about the stage. People talked about a feeling, the warm Miami air, the ocean breeze, the music echoing across the beach. For one weekend, strangers became one family. Without realizing it, those 10,000 people had witnessed the birth of a future legend. Ultra returned the following year. Then again, and again. It didn't become a global phenomenon overnight. It grew, one stage at a time, one artist at a time, one unforgettable weekend after another. As electronic music exploded across the world, Ultra grew with it. Soon, March no longer belonged only to Miami. It belonged to the entire EDM community. Flights arrived from every continent. Hotels sold out months in advance. Fans crossed oceans just to be there. Ultra had become more than a festival. It had become a yearly reunion for the entire electronic music world. Then came the artists, David Guetta, Tiësto, Armin van Buuren, Deadmau5, Hardwell, Martin Garrix, Afrojack, Carl Cox. Every generation of electronic music stood on the Ultra stage. For DJs, playing Ultra wasn't just another booking. It was a dream, a statement, a career milestone. Because standing behind those decks, with the Miami skyline in front of you, meant you had reached the top. Then came one night that changed dance music forever. March 2013. Three silhouettes walked onto the main stage. Axwell, Steve Angello, Sebastian Ingrosso, Swedish House Mafia. The crowd exploded. Nobody wanted the night to end. It was the final show of one last tour. Thousands of people stood in silence between songs. Some cried, some hugged complete strangers. Millions watched online. It wasn't just another festival set. It became one of the most iconic moments in EDM history. Years later, people still remember exactly where they were that night. Ultra wasn't just hosting performances anymore. It was creating history. Every year, another unforgettable moment. Hardwell's legendary comeback. Martin Garrix proving he was the future of dance music. Carl Cox turning resistance into the home of techno. Avicii performing songs that inspired an entire generation. Ultra became the place where history happened. Then, everything changed. In 2018, the city decided Ultra had become too big, too loud, too disruptive. Residents complained. Traffic overwhelmed downtown. The vote was final. Ultra had to leave Bayfront Park. The festival had lost its home. Fans were devastated. Artists were shocked. Many believed this was the end. Without downtown Miami, could Ultra still be Ultra? The organizers refused to surrender. Instead of giving up, they moved the festival to Virginia Key. On paper, it looked perfect. Reality was brutal. Transportation collapsed. Fans waited for hours. Social media exploded with criticism. For the first time in its history, Ultra looked vulnerable. Years of work seemed to be falling apart. But something remarkable happened. People still came because they realized Ultra had never been about one park. It was about the people, the music, the feeling of standing beside hundreds of thousands of strangers who somehow felt like lifelong friends. Behind the scenes, the organizers kept fighting, meeting after meeting, negotiation after negotiation, refusing to let 2 decades of history disappear. Then, after years of fighting, Ultra came home, back to Bayfront Park, back to the Miami skyline, back where millions believed it belonged. The return wasn't just a victory for a festival. It was proof that you can move the stage, but you cannot move the spirit. Today, Ultra is no longer just a Miami festival. It has become a global phenomenon. Ultra events now span Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, Australia, bringing the same energy to millions of fans. Yet every March, everything still leads back to Miami. Because that is where the dream began. One small festival, 2 young promoters, 10,000 people, one impossible idea. 25 years later, that idea became one of the most iconic music festivals on earth. Ultra proved one thing. Great festivals aren't built with money. They're built with belief, risk, and resilience. You can destroy a stage, you can move a festival, you can even take away its home. But you can never stop an idea whose time has come. Because Ultra was never just a festival. It became a feeling. And feelings don't disappear, they spread. This is the story of Ultra Music Festival.